The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me sometimes. Well, we were going to have a guest on tonight. This is the second time she was going to be on the show. The second time we could not get a hold of her. Well, this leaves me and my friend in a few minutes, James, to be talking to you tonight. Now, a little bit about the news. Well, in the last 2 years, the deal maker, the guy who seems to know everything and can fix everything. We're talking about the guy who, had the TV show The Apprentice. Boy, did he treat those people that he was training to become businessmen and great success. He treated them like poo-poo. Well, you know what? This deal maker hasn't seemed to make any deals in the last 2 years with our country that actually has worked out. I mean, look at what he went up to GM, Frigidaire, Harley, all these deals he made with them. Hey, they got the shaft, the royal shaft. Now, you know what? I was one of the gullible people that voted for Trump. I thought he was hand over the best thing that, ever hit the White House. Boy, did I make a mistake. And there hasn't been a day I haven't thought about that mistake, other than maybe my 2 prior marriages. Now, what do you think is going to happen if we pull out of NATO? He wants to pull out of NATO. What is that going to do to our trust with all our countries that we've been protecting and financially supporting all these years? What is our reputation in the United States going to be if we pull out of NATO? Now, also, think about this. China has repeatedly been saying lately, if we keep sending our Navy through the China Sea, or if we even attempt to go near Taiwan, something bad might happen to us. And then you have an admiral in the Chinese Navy who said, hey, Americans are only going to learn one way. We need to sink 2 aircraft carriers. Now, it's like you got a fire going, and then you pour a gallon of gas on it. Are we going to escalate things by keep sending our destroyers in the China Sea? I mean, we need to try to work this stuff out diplomatically, and it's not doing it. I mean, it's just like you're enticing somebody to do something. So they done something. They have put a whole bunch of missiles everywhere that is capable of taking out the aircraft carriers or any of our destroyers in a heartbeat, and we can't even defend against them because they're hypersonic speed. We don't have nothing to defend against them. And how would we look if they took out? How would we look worldwide if China wiped out one of our aircraft carriers? Let alone the amount of people that are on lives on an aircraft carrier will be all gone. Are we going to then go into war with China? And I think a lot of this was created when, the pressure of putting these tariffs on. Yeah, well, we got a good deal. Have we? How many companies have already filed bankruptcy since they put the tariffs on? Quite a few. And our job market, it's stable, but do you ever look at how they rate these jobs and how they get the information? Okay, they're not all full-time jobs. They might be people only working part-time, but they're classified as working. So that person has a job. Well, maybe they're only working part-time because they can't find a job. Now we got the government shutdown, right? Now, what's that doing to people? It's hurting people, not just government workers. How about the people that are below middle income? that live paycheck by paycheck, and they need those little extra things like food stamps, to eat after they pay their rent. Come on. I mean, look at the minimum wages in most states, like $12, $10 an hour. How can you even do anything? How can you even buy food, let alone pay your rent? I mean, this is what's going on, people. So now, are you going to blame the Congress, the Democrats? Are you going to blame the Republicans? Are you, he only became a Republican when he decided to run for president of the United States. Did you know that? Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. He became a Republican just because he wanted to be the president. Now, come on, all the scandals. I mean, let's face it, again, I'm going to stress, I was a Trump fan. I mean, look at all the women he's had while he's been married each time. I mean, he's had some of the best looking women that money could buy. You get it? Money could buy. And look what he's doing to our country. Now, do you think a $5 billion fence is going to stop people from coming into the United States? The open borders was a thing that when we founded our country, we're a free country. All of us have come from all our backgrounds, from Ireland, Scotland, England, Spain, Portugal. We come from everywhere. Okay? Now, closing the borders, putting a fence up is going to stop, the people from coming over from Mexico into the United States. Come on, man. These people are great at creating tunnels with air conditioning and lighting. And some of them actually were big enough in the past to drive a car through. So you think putting a fence is going to really stop it? I don't think so. Now, hey, he wanted a cement fence. $5 billion cement fence. Well, he, 2 weeks ago said, well, gee, if you just give me the $5 billion, I'll take steel. Okay? Well, it's already proved on the steel fence. One, you can go through it with a hacksaw. Okay? So you think that fence is going to be built? Are we going to put a armed guard every 12 feet for the whole length of it? Come on, if they want to come through with a steel fence, they already proved that they can. The fence isn't going to stop anybody. I actually think it's a diversion, a major diversion to keep everything just kind of worked up right now. Because we got a lot of things going on in this country that it got me scared. We got jobs, okay? You got the jobs. The job market is good right now. Hey, if you want to work at Wendy's and McDonald's and Sherry's and that type of job, yeah. Or you can run a computer, that's fine. Boy, but building stuff, I mean, forget that, because they're going out of business because the tariffs. Now, they're trying to, China's trying to sweeten the pot and offer us a whole bunch of stuff, to end the tariff. But you know what? The time the tariff has been going on, how much has it affected you, the listener, if you live in this country? Right now, it's affected you about $600 to $700. If you don't even realize it or not, it has. It's out of your pocketbook. So, yeah, we end the tariffs next week or next month, okay? So we got a sweet deal, right? As he says, a sweet deal. Are you going to get that $600 or $700 back? Thank God the IRS stepped up, because you know what? If they didn't step up about your taxes, because the majority of you people out there, including my wife, is one, it didn't have enough taxes taken out of her wages last year. Well, I'm glad the IRS says we're not going to hit people with penalties and interest on it. We're going to just kind of waive that. Well, thank God, because could you imagine when people file their taxes in April? A lot of people are expecting they're going to get back a certain amount of money. Guess what? Some of them are going to owe money. They're not going to get it back. And, these people kind of like all year kind of live a little bit maybe beyond their means. Now, how are they going to pay off their credit cards and get caught up on their mortgage? They're not. They got to pay the IRS. Now, hey, the IRS is going to forgive the penalties for you not claiming enough money and paying enough money in. But if you owe it and you don't pay it, guess what? That clock starts clicking, and all of a sudden now you owe interest and you owe penalties on that. So, you know what? That's going to affect a lot of people. I don't know. Maybe the network could offer Trump back his job on The Apprentice. Seriously, offer him a job back to step down out of the White House right now. He certainly couldn't do any worse back on The Apprentice than he's doing in the White House. Now, I can honestly say, oh yeah, and then he supplied this team, right? He got up there and said, oh yeah, there's 1,000 hamburgers and pizzas here. Well, one of his people he told the news media, man, there's only 200 here. Maybe he can't count. I don't know, exaggerates anything. And you know what? It really frustrates me more than anything with our president. He'll get up and give a speech, and whatever comes in his little mind, he says, true or not, but most of it is not true. He comes up with all these fictitious things and numbers and all this stuff, and it shocks people because they know what he's saying is a bunch of you-know-what. Come on, people. We got a serious problem right now in our country. So I don't know if he's going to be impeached or not impeached, or if maybe they'll make him a deal, to step down here in the next couple months. Maybe they'll just let him serve the last 2 years, and then as soon as his term is up, maybe they'll even have handcuffs waiting for him when he steps off of the property of the White House, and then they kind of like give him free room and board, 3 meals a day. I don't know. I don't know how many people can sit there and bankrupt companies. His father had a massive fortune, and within a year, Trump went all through it like nothing. And then in the 80s, no bank in this country would lend Trump any money because he was going bankrupt every which way. This is the deal maker, right? Why would a deal maker have to go bankrupt in all these businesses he had? Something is wrong. And then he got loans. Guess where the loans came from, people? Russia. Yeah, Russia. Now, hey, you think somebody is nice enough in Russia, big businesses there, to fund the president, or I should say Trump at the time, aren't going to have all his claws into Trump? Think about that. So I don't know what's going to happen here in the next few weeks. Maybe to save face on our nation, they'll just kind of, come up and put a whole bunch of other people in jail and not